All right, we'll end the show today with the remake of The Thing, directed by, here we go, Matthijs van Heijningen Jr.
That's what I got.
That's as good as you got?
I wrote it phonetically, too.
Yeah, he's also a first-time director. He's done a video and he's had a short film, and this, got handed right in his lap a big old Hollywood remake. Here you go. And basically, technically this is a prequel to the 1982 version.
Spoiler alert.
No, it isn't.
Oh.
That's
only a spoiler.
It's a prequel to the 1982 John Carpenter remake, and it sort of ends where that one starts. So they really had a lot of room to do something new, I think, because the Carpenter remake was a remake of Thing from Another World, the Howard Hawks film. So he was able to kind of update it and do what he did, but he had to stay sort of within the confines of that story. Whereas this movie really had the doors open to do whatever it wanted to do. And what it chose to do is basically just be a remake of the John Carpenter adaptation. We have Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Kate Lloyd, who is a paleontologist who gets hired by Dr. Sander Holverson, a Swedish scientist who said they just found something in Antarctica that they need to go and kind of take a look at. So without knowing much, she signs on to this plan and they go to Antarctica and they take a look at an alien spacecraft and what they think might be an alien species trapped in the ice. The species, after time, melts and escapes from the ice, and it sort of becomes, a creature feature, basically. And if you've ever seen the Carpenter remake, I consider that movie to be a perfect film. I mean, I'm a huge fan of horror films in general, and that one is specifically, and I like Carpenter, but I think that is probably his best movie and probably his most consistent. And it's a really interesting movie, and it takes it did a lot of interesting things with special effects and stuff like that for its time, which I think they still hold up. And the things in this movie that work, I think, is that the acting is pretty good by the cast. We also have Joel Edgerton there, who's kind of playing the pseudo-romance figure, and then Mary Elizabeth Winstead, whom I'm in love with anyway. If there was any reason for me to go see this movie, it was because I'm in love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
All right.
Just saying.
Fair
just
enough.
Throwing that out there. Ever since Scott Pilgrim.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
And they're both pretty good in the movie, and everyone in general does a pretty good job in naturalizing their dialogue and da-da-da-da-da. But I had a hard time being able to separate it from the Carpenter version because they're trying so hard, so slavishly to match scene per scene certain things that happen in the Carpenter's remake. So all you can do if you've seen it is compare it and say, well, is this working as well as that? Well, no. Yeah. And then it does take its own decisions as far as the plot goes, and it sort of ends in a strange, different way. But a lot of the motivations of the characters and a lot of the motivations of the creature doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. And I just found myself sort of rolling my eyes about halfway through the movie. Good special effects, good acting, fairly well made. The script is really sloppy and doesn't make a lot of sense. So I give it a C-.
Nice. Well, I was going to give it a C+, but because of it all of a sudden randomly becoming a prequel at the end, I decided I'd bump it to a B-. I was like, all right, that was kind of cool ending.
I knew beforehand, I guess.
Did you? Did you? Well, okay. Well, now all of our viewers will too.
I didn't know that was supposed to be a surprise.
It was a surprise to me. So I thought it was a decent sci-fi horror movie. But as for a remake, pretty terrible. It had good special effects, a lot of good stuff. I think had it tried to be its own thing, it would have done a lot better. Mm-hmm. But it was, trying too hard to be the oldest stuff. Not nearly enough suspense. I think I remember the other one having a lot more suspense, a lot more who's who, a lot more psychological suspense going on versus the creature feature.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was more let's just get this creature out of the ice and kill things.
Yeah.
It just started becoming a...
And it wants to have that, it's like the movie knows it's not doing so well because the characters start explicating the themes when they're like, guys, it could be any of us, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, the Carpenter movie didn't have to do that. You got that suspense without
they were like,
saying
we're going to do a blood test now. It's not it could be any of us, so we need to do this.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't what I expected. I was going to this expecting some kind, because it's a foreign director guy, and they're really good at the suspense and these all the other these things that I've been watching that have been foreign have been great. So I was really had high hopes for this. I was like, okay, he's going to do something foreign to it. He really Americanized the crap out of it.
Yeah.
I was like, stupid.
I think he's working for a paycheck. And
Yeah,
a lot of times
probably.
when that happens, when you have a foreign director who makes interesting work in his country, they come to America and make crap.
Yeah.
Because the studios push them around
Yeah.
and they are too afraid to back down.
But yeah, I think a lot of also I think we lose a lot. I'm sure the acting was good, but a lot of it's in Norwegian because these guys are supposed to be from Norway and Antarctica and stuff. So I think we might lose something in translation-ish. Maybe they were doing even better acting than we thought.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with any of the Norwegian actors, although I did think it was quite convenient that we had just enough American actors in there that we didn't have to have a totally foreign movie.
Yeah. No. Still enjoyed it. It was a decent, sci-fi horror, like I said, but nothing spectacular too. I'd probably wait for it. Don't go rushing out to go see it.
Yeah, I'd say if you're curious, just curious to see what's going on here with this as a remake because you're a fan of the other two, then sure, why not go see it? But the Carpenter film, I hold that movie so close to my heart. And as much as I'm in love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, it just did not save this movie for me.
That's all right. We'll wait for her next one. All right. I guess that's our show today.